they might be normal and they might be okay. Yeah, they're fine. But sometimes it's still like you're still trying to hit on me, which is what I don't like, okay? I don't like you bothering me. I don't like you hitting on me. I don't like you doing any of those things because I don't prefer, kind of thing. So, with that whole situation, um, talking about the ghetto, she got mad, like I said, with the whole drugs thing, so she tried to say, even though I was at that point a virgin, like, I don't even think, I may have had my first sip of alcohol at 24, so right around that time. Um, but like, as far as that, I've never actually drunk before. I mean, after that, even. Um, but the point is, like, yeah, at that point, I was really super innocent, like, a little shy, little sheep. I was always shy, little sheep, basically, type of chick when I was in my early 20s and mid 20s because I I don't know, it's just like more of my personality is on the phone because most of my work is done on the phone. I am a telephone interviewer. I was a telephone interviewer from 20 to 25. Yeah, 25. So I have had a long experience with telephone interviewing. I was at the my um, top of the list. I guess they would always have this roster of people who got the most surveys and things of that nature. I would get a crazy amount, 16 a day sometimes, and if you times the amount and how much each survey costs, I made millions of dollars for my company over a year's time. So, I mean, honestly, I've always had more of a personality there. So, as far as that lady, she, like I said, had issue with me on those regards, and um, she kept trying to, like I said, make up stuff about me. She also tried to say I was obese. She did. She was like trying to say I was humongous or something crazy like that. And I mean, like, looking at her, I think I see two chins. Just saying. Um, but she, had this whole big issue with me, and she went on and on and on about it for 3 months, just commenting randomly on my channel in the middle of the night. Always thought, oh, it must mean that you get high at like night and then you start crazy um, posting, basically, crazy commenting on my channel about crazy stuff, about how you hate dark-skinned women and blah, 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 blah. One thing I wanted to take note of is, here is a problem also on top of all this. It's the dichotomy. People never pay attention. Okay, so you come from this idea that you're not good enough because you're not white, or you're not as good as your lighter skinned mother, because many of these people come from a mother who is lighter than them. And, claim that other people who are black hate white women or hate people like them who don't have a mother, who don't have a black mother or something of that nature, or that we hate white women, I guess. I don't know. But what's weird to me is this: why are you going to claim someone else hates white women, but when after you talk about dark-skinned women, the next thing you're going to talk about are white women? So I mean, like, you are hating on white women because you can't be them. And you see this with people like Kim Kardashian, for example, and the Kardashians. Many of those mixed platforms attack women like that because they wish they looked like them, you know? And as much as they claim they're exotical, they don't look like that. And honestly, that would be more of an example of an exotical, in my opinion. many Middle Eastern women are hated by these women too because they look more exotic than them. And if you're mixed with Middle Eastern or North African, you get a lot of hate from them. And that's why, for me, with my phenotype, being that I do have North African ancestry, that's a major problem that I've encountered with these people. And I show in my video all the different people and their phenotypes and their how basically, if you look at, for example, Bossy and how her phenotype is, it looks like a light-skinned black person, brown-skinned black person really. A lot of lighter skinned, even people who are light skinned, have phenotypes like that, where they have the nose, they have the cheekbones, and they have eyes, which aren't bad features, by the way. I think they look really cool on dark skin, too. I don't know, because it all fits together. But, you see how those people, when they're analyzed, it says they look either half black or usually more black than anything, and in some cases it says 60, 77%, 78, 85, and so forth. By the way, the Brazilian in those examples is a black example, because if you look on Gradient, the Brazilian example, when you use the racial collage of photos, it shows you Indian, white, Asian, and Brazilian. Brazilian is supposed to be the stand-in for black. So, anyway, those people that have that phenotype, they get upset at people who actually look more ambiguous than them. That's why I get a lot of hate, honestly, because my features are finer than theirs, and they're more ambiguous than theirs. So they get mad, and they get mad on the look side of it, but then they also get mad that, on top of it, you don't choose black men, so you won't have a colorism crybaby. So the main thing that their problem is in those situations is, just like I said with the example of those biracial women, having a big issue with you not preferring dark-skinned black men, but instead preferring biracial men. The big issue is the idea of what the next generation is going to look like. So basically, someone who is, maybe light brown skinned, who doesn't prefer dark skinned men, they will end up, having the next generation not struggling and being little Chrissies like them. And they get jealous of this. They get jealous of the fact that you aren't stuck with a black man. You aren't stuck married to Blackistan. You are not stuck having a black family. You are not stuck trying to pretend your children are brown skinned when they're dark skinned. They get mad that you don't have any of these problems. And then they feel like they are inferior, basically. They feel insecure, they feel angry, and, they feel jealous. They also feel jealous at the fact that if you have children, you'll have children that are much more white appearing than them. So they can't really claim the whole thing with dark-skinned women, how dark-skinned women, are basically trying to create their image, so they say. But someone who is lighter brown-skinned, basically you can't say that, because one can tell if someone who is light brown-skinned has a kid with a white person, most likely they're going to look a whole lot whiter than the people that are complaining about it. Honestly, In my case, like I said, many of the time, when I show my photos, unedited, and by the way, these photos are screenshotted from videos I've done, especially the ones without makeup. So you can't claim it's a filter, you can't claim it's makeup. Yes, the ones with dark skin are with a filter, obviously. You can see my neck is lighter. So don't even try it there, okay? And even with darker skin, I still look a lot less black than you guys. But anyway, with your skin tone. But the point is, in my case, many of the time, because I already look more ambiguous than many of them do, they often find that they get even more mad now. Because not only do you look more ambiguous racially than them, you also now, aren't gonna have black children like them. See, this was actually not just an argument that I had with Twisted Smiles, but also an argument I had with Bossy. See, the time when Bossy first blew up in May 28th or May 27th, she specifically was blowing up because before those comments, I was talking about what my children would look like if I had children in an interracial relationship. And she knew that I only dated white for the most part. When I say I only dated white, I mean that I've only dated white. Like, not like I choose to only date white, like, okay, there were options, most of them were white. Okay, there were some people who were biracial. I talked to them. I talked to everybody. Who moved fastest? Who, we went on dates, we clicked, and so then I stopped considering more options, basically. Anyway, so in most cases, I've dated white, and in these situations, she got triggered because I specifically was talking about basically what my children would look like. And of which I didn't even say it in a positive way. I said it in actually a negative way. Because if anyone knows my history, and yes, I inserted a photo of me, that baby photo is me. That is a photo that I rejected when I was young, when I was a toddler. It took me till 12 to accept that's me, based off of skin tone. And I always worried, would I disassociate my child with me because I disassociated my own image with myself when I saw myself lighter skinned. You see, I grew up around a lot of dark skinned people, so to me, what was normal was being darker, or at least being a light brown. Like, to me, I was like the minimum, basically.